The land was quiet long before the walls arrived. Only dust moved here. Wind, footsteps, smoke disappearing into an empty sky. Then people stayed, not for a season, not for a journey, but forever. Stone by stone, paths began to remember where humans walked. Small shelters rose from the earth. Fires burned through the night. And somewhere in the silence, the city began breathing. Jerusalem was never built all at once. It grew slowly. Like memory, like belief. Goats crossed the same trails every morning. Merchants traded beneath cloth canopies. Children ran between unfinished walls while workers dragged heavy stones uphill beneath the sun. And every generation believed they were building something eternal. The hills became crowded. The roads became louder. The skyline climbed higher. Then the temple appeared. Not suddenly, but piece by piece. Column after column. Stone after stone. Until gold began catching sunlight across the entire city. People traveled from far beyond the desert just to stand beneath it. Rome arrived soon after. Not quietly. Armor flashed beneath the sun. Foreign banners entered the gates. The markets grew richer. The streets grew denser. But underneath the noise, tension was growing. Empires always believe they can control cities like this. History says otherwise. Smoke appeared first, far away, small enough to ignore. Then came fire. Roofs collapsed. Crowds scattered. Soldiers forced their way through the streets, while flames swallowed entire districts. And the temple, the heart of the city, burned against the night sky. For a moment, Jerusalem looked less like a city and more like the end of the world. But cities like this rarely die. Even in ruins, people returned. Broken columns became foundations. Destroyed roads became new streets. The silence slowly filled with hammers, footsteps, and voices again. Rome rebuilt what fire destroyed. Straight roads replaced chaos. Archways rose over crowded plazas. Fountains flowed where ashes once covered the ground. Then crosses began appearing, quietly at first, on rooftops, doorways, walls. Pilgrims arrived carrying candles through narrow stone streets. Church bells echoed across the skyline, and Jerusalem changed once more. But this city was never shaped by only one people, never by only one empire, never by only one faith. New languages filled the markets. Arabic calligraphy spread across stone walls. Minarets climbed into the sky beside older domes. And then came the Golden Dome, slowly rising above the city until it became impossible to ignore. By sunset, it looked almost unreal, like the city itself was glowing. The streets below overflowed with scholars, merchants, travelers, and worshippers from worlds far beyond these hills. For a while, Jerusalem breathed peacefully. But peace here rarely lasts forever. War returned wearing iron. Crusader banners appeared along the horizon. Horses thundered through the gates. Smoke swallowed the streets once again. Symbols changed. Flags changed. Rulers changed. But the city remained. Scarred. Layered. Watching every empire pass through it. Over centuries, Jerusalem became a living archive of conquest, a place where civilizations stacked themselves on top of one another. Ottoman walls strengthened the skyline. Lanterns glowed above crowded bazaars. Pilgrims crossed paths beneath towering stone gates. Time moved faster now. Tools changed. Clothing changed. The streets became louder. Telegraph poles rose beside ancient roads. Rail lines appeared beyond the walls. Steam drifted into the skyline. And modernity arrived carefully, almost cautiously. Cars replaced animals. Electric lights replaced flame. European buildings rose beside ancient neighborhoods. Jerusalem no longer belonged to the ancient world, but it never fully left it either. Then came another century of conflict. Checkpoints appeared. Sirens echoed. Smoke rose beyond the skyline. Concrete and cranes surrounded the old city while soldiers watched crowded intersections. And still, people kept arriving. Tourists, pilgrims, merchants, families, believers. Every street carried a different language. Every wall carried a different memory. Now the city glows with headlights and neon. Glass towers shimmer in the distance. Drones move through the sky where birds once circled alone. But beneath all of it, the old stone remains. The same hills, the same skyline, the same city that has survived destruction more times than history can count. Jerusalem was never frozen in time. It was shaped by time. And even now, it is still changing. Tourists, pilgrims, merchants, families, believers. Every street carried a different language. Every wall carried a different memory. Now the city glows with headlights and neon. Glass towers shimmer in the distance. Drones move through the sky where birds once circled alone. But beneath all of it, the old stone remains. The same hills, the same skyline, the same city that has survived destruction more times than history can count. Jerusalem was never frozen in time. It was shaped by time. And even now, it is still changing. Dawn reaches the city slowly. First, the light touches the old walls, then the towers, then the endless roads stretching beyond them. For thousands of years, this skyline changed one empire at a time. Now it changes every single year. Morning haze drifts above the city while traffic slowly begins moving through the hills. Construction cranes stand over the horizon like permanent parts of the landscape now. The ancient city remains still beneath all of it. As sunlight grows stronger, glass buildings begin reflecting gold across the skyline. The streets below slowly wake up. Shops open. Markets breathe again. Voices return to the alleys. Jerusalem has always been crowded with people searching for something. Faith, meaning, history, a future. Now all of them move through the same streets together. Tourists pass merchants. Pilgrims pass businessmen. Old stone pathways lead into highways filled with modern traffic. And somehow, it all feels normal here. The haze continues fading. More of the modern city reveals itself. Apartment blocks, glass towers, roads wrapped around neighborhoods older than entire civilized